Alright, so I'm going to take you for a ride in part of Colorado Springs that I'm going to call the old southeast part of Colorado Springs. The reason why I'm calling it the old southeast is as the city has grown, the city has developed more south and more east. That happens as cities grow. So the part of Colorado Springs I'm going to take you through is called Southboro. And Southboro is one of the, I'd say, more affordable areas of Colorado Springs, particularly in regard to single-family homes. You can't really find much at this current time in the 300 to 400 price point on single-family homes. And in Southboro, such homes exist. So I'm just going to drive you up and down a few streets here so that you can see what exists in that price point. Okay. Now, do remember, obviously, these homes were built between 1970 and 1980. And so you're going to see, yes, some ranchers, but a decent number of split levels, bi-levels, things like that. Every once in a while a tri-level. But split levels were really common at that time, between 1970 and 1980. One thing that's interesting as well is in these neighborhoods, most of the homes have single car garages, which just shows you kind of what happened over time and how as society grew and aged, people went from owning one car to owning two cars. But obviously the trees are quite mature in these areas. The siding is going to be predominantly a wood siding, like a clapboard type siding. You'll see some brick. The brick will usually be on the front of the homes and on the lower half. Sometimes it might run up the whole side of a garage. This house we're passing right there had stucco, which means they redid that at some point in time. You don't see a ton of stucco in that era. The majority of the lots in this area fall between about 6,000 and 7,000 square foot, which is, to be honest, still common today on production homes. You definitely see some neat angles, though, with homes from this time frame. And in these older neighborhoods, and I say older, which is all relative to where you come from, but in these neighborhoods you'll see fencing primarily in the backyards, but you will see more chain link fence than what you would see today in some of the newer neighborhoods where you'll see more of the 6-foot privacy fences. Now, something that's really convenient about this area, Southboro, is it's easy to get to right off of Academy Boulevard. You would use Astrazon Boulevard. You can also get to this area from Powers Boulevard. And if you take this area due east, you will end up at the Colorado Springs Airport, which is handy. You can also very easily access Peterson Air Force Base. So if one is a military or a veteran and would like to use the amenities over at Peterson Air Force Base, they have a BX for shopping. They've got a barber shop, some restaurants on post, swimming pool, fitness center. All those things that are very handy that you find on most military bases are right there at Peterson Air Force Base. So you could actually work at Fort Carson and be in the Army, but still use the resources over at Peterson Air Force Base, which is pretty handy also. Now, because because it's off of both Powers Boulevard and South Academy Boulevard, you can get to a lot of stuff very easily. South Academy's got a lot of restaurants on it, but it also is a quick shot south to Fort Carson. So it's not uncommon to see Army families or individuals choose to purchase down here in Southboro, as it is more affordable, and you can get to Fort Carson to its northern gate in 10 minutes. So that's handy. Aside from that, there's also a lot of shopping centers around here. You can get to a very new Walmart pretty quick. You can get to a new Sam's Club really quickly. There are several fitness centers that are open to the public. There's Crunch Fitness not far from here. There's a very big YMCA that has a lot to offer within it. If you go to Powers Boulevard, you've got a really easy shot to all things that Powers offers, not just the airport, but really easy access to newer shops, newer restaurants, newer movie theaters, things like that are all right off Powers Boulevard. So super handy that you can access the Southboro neighborhood to places like that. Now there's actually a school, there's a grade school really close by. Most of the streets, one could even walk to that grade school in this neighborhood, or a very quick and easy car ride will get you there. There's a high school that's a quick drive. Sierra High School, just a little north of the neighborhood I'm in right now, and you're there within about 4 to 5 minutes. And there's a middle school in the area also. Now, if one wanted to or was doing college level classes, Pike's Peak State College is just south of here, about 8 minutes by car, headed southbound towards Fort Carson Army Base. And then we have Colorado College, we have UCCS. Those colleges or universities are within about 15 to 20 minutes from this neighborhood. So if one's seeking higher education, very easy to get there. It's a nice tour of the neighborhood. We got a pretty day today. As I make this is a fall day. A lot of folks that have been in this neighborhood or these neighborhoods for a long time. Many of them take good care of their stuff. Now, because it's an older neighborhood, it also came about before HOAs came to be, and some people like that. But with the lack of HOAs, you'll see, people parking multiple cars in driveways, sometimes on their side lot. You'll see campers on the street parked. There's some really nice views from the westward-facing home. The homes that have the rear of their homes facing west really can score some sweet views here in Southboro. Most of the homes in this area are going to range between 1,200 and about 2,200 square feet. this is an area of town that every now and then you'll find a 2-bedroom house. You don't see a lot of 2-bedroom homes in Colorado Springs, so that's pretty unique. The majority of homes will have 3 bedrooms, and you'll find some 4-bedroom homes in the area. Most of them are going to have 2 bathrooms. Often it's going to be 1 full bath, and on the lower level, say it's a split level or bi-level, the lower level will often come with a 3/4 bath, just with a shower, the sink and the toilet scenario. In most cases, you'll find the laundry rooms or the washer and dryer hookups on the lower levels of the homes, if it's a split level or bi-level. And they'll often be in the same room where the furnace and the water heater live. One thing you'll definitely see, not just here in Southboro, but in many neighborhoods, is a lot of front yards will have more xeriscaping, where there's rock, mulch, some bushes, things like that. We live in a pretty arid state, and it can be a struggle to keep your yard looking good. So you'll see more people doing xeriscaping. It's kind of a trend that's taken over most of Colorado Springs. You'll see backyards nowadays being more where there's more grass. And even there, it can be a struggle. So it's not uncommon to see artificial turfs going in a lot of people's yards. Now this is a street right here where there's these houses all face south right here, and they score some views. As I turn slowly, you'll see over the top the mountains right there. So these homes that face south score some great views. Here's a little tip too: if you're coming to Colorado Springs from elsewhere and you don't already know this, south-facing, east-facing, west-facing on your house can be a little more advantageous come winter time. And I say that because we get some snow here. It comes and goes. It's not like it snows every day in the winter. People think that, but we are not Eskimos here for darn sure, you know. I've lived here 30 years, and the weather's pretty phenomenal. Weather like this is very normal in the winter time, where we get sunlight. If it snows, we know it's coming. You may have to scoop your driveway a few times over a day or two, depending on how much snow we get. And aside from that, it melts quickly. And after the snow melts, then we're in a good situation, because if you have a south-facing, east or west-facing, the sun helps melt the snow also. So that's kind of handy. You should scoop though. If you don't and you roll over your snow, then it compacts it and you have ice on your driveway. That's not a good thing. But if you do your scooping and then let the sun do the rest, it's pretty handy now. If your house faces north, that's the one thing that can be a little hard. And the reason why is your house casts a shadow onto your driveway. And that shadow causes the snow and the ice to stick around. And it can stick around for a week and a half in that shadow. So not really a big deal if your driveway is level and you scoop it. But if you don't scoop your driveway and you just leave the snow and then ice there, it sticks around for a long time, and it's not very pleasant, and it can be a hazard for other people to slip and fall on. So I don't say that north facing is bad, it's just not as advantageous during the winter if you're not one to get out there and take care of your snow. That's what I tell my clients. If you're on a steep driveway too, not as great to have a north facing house. Okay, so I'm on Asterzon Boulevard right now, between Powers Boulevard and Academy Boulevard, in the southeast part of the Springs. I'm turning onto a street called Bellamy. Right. So I'm going to take you down here, and we're going to take a look at a house together. This house right here is 2570 Bellamy. I'll show you the inside. So having come in from the main level, you could go up or down because it's a split level. And if you come up, it brings you into the living room. As you proceed forward, kitchen area, tile on the floor, some relatively modernized cabinets. Now this house does have a pretty spectacular view from its deck. That's Pike Peak straight ahead. Gas on the stove. Stainless on the appliances. And there's a 3/4 bath here. Electrical system here is updated, which is nice. Now, this is pretty cool because you've got a large master bedroom suite here. Cool arch, nice walk-in closet. It's a long bedroom. Candlelights up top. And this window right here, once again, takes in some pretty nice views. More so in the winter when the leaves are falling, but good views all the same. And the bedroom does connect to the bathroom. I stepped out the slider from the kitchen. There's like a Trex decking type material. One of the neighbor's dogs talking to me. But relatively flat backyard. They have a little fire pit. Came down the stairs. There's a bedroom down here. A large family room down the lower level. Along the way, got a 3/4 bath with laundry within it. And then another bedroom with a walk-in closet. Some nice built-ins over here. So that's 2570 Bellamy in the southeast part of Colorado Springs. If you'd like to check that one out, let me know. We'll get you in there. All right, so that was a little bit of time in the Southboro part of Colorado Springs. As I mentioned earlier, a somewhat more affordable part of Colorado Springs. Been around for a little while. Homes predominantly in the 1,200 to about 2,400, 2,500 square foot range. You know, built in the 70s to 80s, and easily accessible to a lot of stuff. Okay. Fort Carson, Peterson Air Force Base, Academy Boulevard, which I'm on right now. There's a new Dutch Bros right there. The kids seem to love that place. That's within a couple of minutes from the neighborhood we were just in. So a handy neighborhood that you can get to almost any part of Colorado Springs pretty fast. All right, well, if these videos are helpful to you, make sure to follow, like, or subscribe, and I'll keep bringing you more.